Hello, welcome to the Joy of Paintball. It's been a while. Summer break has happened, and I have enjoyed it. So there's that. I get to jump back into it today with Mike Bianca of Dynasty Paintball, of the Coaches Show, of Zen and the Art of Paintball, and of Z-Logs, and of so many other things. I think there was a hair metal band in there somewhere. I don't know. We talked about so much stuff today. It was amazing. I got to hear about some of his past, about what the joy of paintball is to him. And yeah, he is one of those guys you look at and you're like, man, I bet he's just an awesome dude. And checks out. He is a really cool dude. So I hope you enjoy this. Thanks so much for dropping in. And yeah, this is The Joy of Paintball with Mike Bianca. This is The Joy of Paintball, and I'd like to give a special thanks to my supporters on Patreon. Christopher Harry, Reese Tigert, Colt Wallace, and Edric Alvarez. Thank you so much for your support. The Joy of Paintball also brought to you by Productive Procrastination Productions. Produced by Pipe Dreams and Wishful Thinking. Sound engineers, my kids banging on the door asking for dessert. Also sponsored by free things like caffeine and spell check. The Joy of Paintball made available by viewers like you. Cool. We're live. Yeah, did you... I tried sending some zines to you, so a little like...
Yes, you did. So guess what? I just ran into my friend Mike McGowan. We were at a farmer's market. All right, and Mike's like, "I have a bunch of zines for you that came in."
Oh,
I was
sick!
Like, "Oh, you got them!" So, and it's perfect because I'll explain that later. But yeah, they went to Prime, and I gave you Prime's address because I'm over there all the time. Figured. And he just, I keep forgetting to ask, and he keeps forgetting to tell me he has them, and so he's bringing them to me this weekend.
Yeah, well, I understand. It's all good. I also people will send that to me because I don't know, I'm socially awkward, and so when when I like just reach out to people randomly, I'm like, hey, what's your address? I can imagine some folks are like, here's this one.
I love the fact that you say that you're socially awkward, yet you do this incredible show, right? It's like facing your fear, and I love that.
Well, because I'm not scared of it.
I'm actually very socially awkward as well. I know it's hard to believe.
I mean, but we both kind of put ourselves in front of folks. I'm a teacher full time, and
that's right.
You know, you're a coach, so. Yeah. You know, we all have to be social at some point, you know, and I don't know what it is. I don't know that it's a fear so much. I think I have to do it just about every day. Yeah. I just kind of, and I'm an art teacher, so I'm allowed to be weird. Like there's a pass for me. So, yeah.
But it's interesting. So, people usually think I'm kidding when I say this, but it's true. They say, well, you're so outgoing, you're so personable, etc. And I said, well, yeah, that's a defense mechanism. And the reason being I say that, Clint, and you're going to kind of laugh at me, and maybe your viewers or listeners are going to call BS on me or not. I don't know. But this is how I look at it. If I control the conversation, and if I'm being being open and outward and engaging, well, then I'm controlling the pace, and I'm controlling the topic, and I'm controlling the situation. So we're not talking about me. We're talking about what I want to talk about, which is not me. So when I get on shows like this, I get kind of nervous, right? Because obviously, as it being interviewed or having this conversation and knowing that others are going to watch it, right? So it's strange. I know it sounds strange, but it is. It's like a defense mechanism of mine that I just developed when I was very young, and it helped when I went into getting a minor in psychology. So,
yeah, I bet.
So,
gosh,
it's like, I know what that.
How's that helped you out with? Yeah. So you said minor in psychology, but I looked at your LinkedIn today because I'm just trying to figure out. It's always interesting to me, like what do paintball players do? Yeah. And you're It looked like some sort of real estate or land.
I'm in real estate. So what I do
stuff?
is I work for a large financial corporation, and so my clients are the corporation, right? This corporation serves clients outside of it, but my job is what is called strategic planning, and I act as a C-suite relationship type manager, where my job is to gain knowledge from these executives and then develop solutions for them from a workflow, a space, a location, leasing, all these different types of things. So best way to get them to use space based off the way their department works, if that makes sense. So
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I've in my mind, yeah, but I've lived in public school pretty much all my life, so I get excited when I get to drive around at 11 a.m. and it's like I feel like I'm playing hooky or something. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's a highly involved job. I have a lot of stress.
I'm sure.
Which is funny.
Goodness.
I try to be like, from coaching the Canes to coaching Dynasty, etc. There's always that in the back of my head, right? When I'm at the events or I'm with the team or whatever, there's always that big looming monster that is real world life and work. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's do you get to, so I know playing, there's this moment of I don't know what you call it, of just like clarity where you're like, it's just paintball. It's, and or like a runner's high or whatever you want to call it, zen if you want.
Freedom.
Do you get to do you get to experience that coaching at all, or is that kind of reserved just for the players?
That's a great question. I still play, right? So when I get an opportunity to get out there and play, and I think that we're really hopping into my joy of it, right? The joy of paintball. But is there a freedom with coach? Yes, there is. There is a freedom with the coaching, right? I'm there with my guys. There's that camaraderie. There's everything that goes on, and we are there together as a collective group to build each other up and accomplish a goal, right? So yes, nice. There is that freedom. I have been told I take it too serious sometimes. I just wrote about this in my most recent blog.
I read it. It was great.
Alex Frazier he's always telling me, Coach, relax, have a good time, right? We're supposed to be having fun. This is fun,
Yeah.
I'm
such a California thing.
Yeah, very, right? So laid back. I was raised in the South, right? So everything, you put your best foot forward. If you're going to be a ditch digger, be the best ditch digger you can be. That discipline of, hey, if we're here to do something, let's do it well. Let's put our best foot forward. And so I always feel very. I'm one of those guys that holds himself to a certain standard that if the team's not doing well, I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong. And I've been told that's not healthy, but it's just I want those guys to succeed, and I feel that's the role of a coach. A coach is to put people in positions to succeed, and if they're not succeeding, then obviously I'm doing something wrong, right? So,
well, I think whether you are or you're not, I think it's great for your players to see, like, you, number one, you care, and number two, like, okay, we can blame him, type thing. Not that they would, but like having like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I don't know, coach isn't figuring it out, type thing. Like, I think that's actually like helpful for some folks. Not at the pro level. I think most of the pros will have that same mentality.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know better than I do, but that seems like, especially on the divisional teams, they kind of need someone to blame, so to speak, but as long as you're like not, like if you're someone with the stature, the character that you have, then they'll be like, they won't blame you. They'll be like, oh, coach, what are we going to do? And not so much like, it's your fault. I would hope.
Well, you said something earlier, right? It's good that you care. I don't think you can expect to be a successful coach if you don't. I believe that coaching very much is a relationship building one, right? And if I don't have some form of connection or trust with my guys, then I'm really probably not doing them any good, and they're probably just going through motions, and I'm probably just going through motions. There has to be a connection, and you know, it's interesting. As a coach, you have to be. There has to be. You've got to play so many roles, and I talk about this a lot on the Coaches Show with Ryan Gray. Is you have to play so many roles, right? You got to be a priest, you got to be a psychologist, you got to be a teacher, you got to be you got to be a lawyer, you got to be all these different things. And some people need certain aspects more than others, right? And you've probably heard me say this. I don't talk to. We joked about this before we got on, right? I don't talk to Harrison Fry the same way I talk to Ryan Greenspan, right? There's different. They respond differently to different stimuli. So I have to learn, and I've said this ad nauseum, I'm sure, but you know, players shouldn't learn the way I coach. I should coach the way they learn. And as a teacher, I'm sure you understand that, right? It's
frustrating.
Matter of fact, there's a famous quote from an artist. What was it? Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes, and art is knowing which ones to keep. And I think that's beautiful, right? And I think that's what I went back and watched some of your shows. So I was, because I've watched a couple, and I went back to watch a few more, and I love that the artistic thing you bring to this, right? And I think it's what's fascinating, like Shelda's podcast, right? He's doing something completely different too, just like you are, and I absolutely love it. And I wanted to make sure I got a cool art quote in there because I'm sometimes known for my
you
quotes.
Did great. Yeah, just a few times. Yeah, you. I noticed you end every Zen in the Art of Paintball. Every blog that you do, you end with Bruce Lee.
I do.
Be like water, and
Bruce is such he was so ahead of his time, right? I mean, I could quote an artist I grew up with. You'll probably laugh at me, but I absolutely love him. And I actually went as Halloween as him, and my wife went as a happy tree.
I know who it is already.
Bob Ross, right?
My man.
It's, we
great.
don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. And that's such good advice, man. I love that. And
it's great life advice.
It is, because I talk about that with my guys, right? In every team I've coached, and I talked about this again in my last blog, was the fact that we don't lose, we learn, right? We haven't lost if we learn something and we come back better. And that's something that I think we all can appreciate and learn from and grow from. At least I hope.
Yeah, that's something, sports specifically, like, and paintball, paintball and sports, like, together. Everyone fails at some point. No one succeeds 100% of the time.
Nope.
And you get to you learn from those failures, or you learn from those, and you hopefully change from those.
Right, you grow.
Paintball's like the Rafiki of the world, you get hit with the stick once, you're gonna move the next time, hopefully. That's right. Unless you're
and if you don't, right? But, and see, there's so many analogies we could draw from that, right, Clint? We could sit there and talk about, okay, paintball is one of those few martial team sports that when you make a mistake, there's a pain reminder, right? But that's the thing, right? If we don't grow and we remain stagnant, what are we doing? So you have to take those elements and those lessons, and it's like any sport. I think that's what sport does, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later. I'm sure our conversation will take us in that direction. But whether it's art or sport or what have you, there's so many life lessons in it. Because I think ultimately that's what sport is supposed to do. It's character building, in my opinion, right?
I would hope so.
We're not all going to be professional level athletes, but we can all learn something from our love and passion for sports. So,
yeah, for sure. I wish sports were better at, like, highlighting the accomplishments you know, and I think that's different because most of the time, winning is an accomplishment, but it's like paintball, like, man, I've been trying to make this bunker 4 days straight, and finally, like, I found the groove. I made it. Right. And that's an accomplishment, or like, finally remembered to communicate. Like, all those little things, like, yeah. And in any sport, like, man, I've been trying to run these gassers at practice, and I just can't make it. Finally, I made it in whatever time frame, or, I'm kind of, like, outing myself on this. Sure. But, like, to, like, those things, like, don't... I've kind of... I'm a dad now. I've been a dad for a while, but, like, my mind is way... Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Really softens you to, like... To what I'm talking about, like, hey, it's okay. Like, yeah, you lost. It's okay to be mad, but it's also okay to, like, figure out how to do better or what you learned, what did you accomplish, and that those are valuable things.
Yeah. It's okay to fall down. It's not okay to stay down, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times we fall. It matters how many times we get back up. That's what ends up,
Absolutely.
Right? And I remember instilling that in my children. I come from a family of I had lots of brothers and sisters, a large family, and I was towards the bottom. Let me tell you, once you have that many kids and you're towards the bottom, you're kind of
you're being.
I'm not saying that my parents were the emotions. You're kind of written off. You're kind of raised by the village, and so you're getting a lot of different input and stimuli. But that's something that, to your point, right? Being a father, you said it softens you. Yes, it does soften you, but it hardens you in other places. Right, you have to get tough in other places, like keeping them alive.
Yeah,
right. I got to get tough there. I got to get smart. I got to become Johnny Badass to handle that situation. I need to keep my children alive. I brought a life into this world, and now it's my job to protect it. And it's kind of like learning. It's kind of like art. It's kind of like paintball, right? If we're going to have this passion, we have to protect it as a passion, right? It can't become work. It has to, we want to keep that love, and the way we do that is we grow, we learn. Hey, I've been working to get, I love how you brought that into it, right? I've been working to get to this bunker all weekend. I finally get there. I've got my groove. I figured it out. Finding those positives. I think that's why I'm more of a process-oriented coach than I am an outcome-oriented coach. But don't get me started on that.
I mean, no. Oh yeah, we can't. We don't have to dive into the coaching all that much. Like I
would rather not.
You're a great coach. You don't want to?
No, it's not that I don't want to. It's that this is your show, and I've watched it, and it's so open and creative and grand that the last thing people want to do is hear me talk about coaching, right? Because but if you want to talk about that, we can, absolutely. It's just that
no, it's fine. We can redirect it. There were just a few questions. You have such like you've come to the limelight more with with your success with the Hurricanes and now with Dynasty, and like I just really we don't have to talk about like current coaching, but I do. The only. Not that the whole world's going to see this, but it'll be on the internet forever. And I would like people to know more about Paul Richards. If there was any, I'm coming at you out of left field with this one. I'm sorry,
no. You want to talk about Paul Richards? I'll talk about Paul Richards all day. Yeah.
Like I saw him on the X Factor was the roster.
Yep.
And I know he came from Damage when they were like.
Yep. And Detroit Strange.
Kind of coming out of... Yeah. And it, I know he added a lot to the game, but like maybe if... I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about him?
100%.
Kind of
100%.
Super broad on that. Sorry.
Paul Richards was the one who convinced me that there is such a thing as a paintball coach. I used to think it was ridiculous that we had coaches in paintball, right? I also am of the belief that the whole sideline coaching created a whole generation of automatons, but that's a different conversation. Paul Richards was able to bring a philosophy of coaching to paintball that legitimized the role. I think he's the mold. And the reason why I say that, one of the most important things he taught me was that your entire roster, if they're on your roster, they're there for a reason, right? Player 1 all the way through 9, 10, 11, 12, doesn't matter. Even that guy who's bringing up the rear has strengths that you can apply to a layout or to a play or to a specific goal. And to see him enact that, and the way his mind worked was just incredible. He had such a way with words. He's also one of the first ones I saw who would talk to one guy one way and then talk to another guy another way. He knew exactly how to extrapolate performance out of people. He knew what their strengths and weaknesses were. He focused on the strengths and he leveraged those strengths and he just pushed them to the forefront. And that's how he built you up. And he was just
nice.
He was just incredible. He was like a parent. He really was. Now, I love my father to death, and I've had a lot of mentors over the years. A lot. I'm 52. I've had a lot. I still have some today. But Paul Richards,
that's awesome.
God rest his soul. We lost him too soon. He and I had just scratched the surface, and I miss him terribly. Man. And he was such a good. And I get to live. I feel like his spirit lives on in his son, and I love his son to death. And I miss him. I have so many. When I was coaching the Canes, there were so many times I would, talk to him. I'm Catholic, so we believe you can do that. I
love that.
Yeah, and then,
of course, yeah.
Especially when I got the call from Dynasty, I really missed Paul then. But Paul Richards, in my opinion, set the bar for professional coaching, 100%.
It really seemed like it. Like I said, I know what's from the roster, and they didn't. They really barely talked about him, but I could see that. You saw the huge shift in the team and how it hurt damage and how it helped X Factor. Like he was definitely important in the sport, and it was cool.
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know this. He invented the speed feed. People don't understand that.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, he invented the first
the garbage disposal.
Yeah, he put the little
or the actual speed.
It was. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about him. He's and he used to write a blog called View from the Dead Box that I still go back and visit every once in a while.
That's so cool. I'm checking it out.
Yeah, you got to go read. I mean, and let me tell you, what I would have loved to. I can only imagine what he would have had a coach's show. He should be on the coach's show with Ryan Gray instead of me, because you want to talk about a show that would have been visceral. You go read his old writings and View from a Dead Box. He pulls no punches, and that's what I loved about him. Right? He was so honest.
Oh man, and, is that where Joey Blute gets it from?
I don't know. Joey's such a. I love Joey to death too. Joey's a good friend of mine, and
he's a cool guy.
What I love about Joey is you know what you get with Joey. Joey doesn't hide behind anything. Joey's Joey, and I think that's what I absolutely love about Joey. Joey's also one of those guys who'll sit there and tell you, "Hey, man, I'm really good at this, not so good at this, so I'm going to get somebody who's really good at this, and I'm going to learn from him." That's what smart men do, right? I love Joey. Yeah. There's so many great characters in professional paintball, but I got to tell you,
there really is.
Paul Richards was the man. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I just curious. I'm
That's a great curiosity.
That's
a good one to be curious about. He's a great dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna see. I don't know. I'm gonna maybe I'll try to I don't know what you call it, post-mortem. Try to get that's not the word. It's nice. It's nicer than that. But try to get Great American Paintball to throw some of his stuff out there.
That'd be great. I can help you with that. I know a guy.
Hell yeah.
So the Great American Paintball, that's a great idea, actually, Clint. And honestly, when you read when you read his stuff, hit me up. Let me know what you think about it. I really would. I would like to know.
For sure. Yeah. I love that. I want Penpals and that type of thing to come back. It's become not too easy, but not as important. Communication. It's maybe it is too easy. Maybe that's what it is. But I just see old stories of like old war stories of like people writing letters back and forth. Or I'm a huge Van Gogh fan. It's
No
not
way.
I have a little sunflower over here.
I love it.
But like him and his brother wrote like 900 letters. They have 900 letters of theirs back and forth, and it's just so cool. Like, and everything was important, and they were so like there was books of just the letters, and then there's books that are kind of like a biographical novel, and like, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll totally let you know.
I'm with you, Clint.
Sorry.
I'm with you. I guess we're both old souls because first of all, you're absolutely right. Your commentary on society today, communication's too easy. Look at this. You're in Texas, I'm in Alabama, and we're talking on a screen to each other, right? Digitized. Yeah. It's incredible, right? I make all my children write thank you cards still. I still write my father snail letters because he loves to open the letter and read it, right? I think there's something
they don't know the experience of opening anything. Yeah, for sure.
I'm
like
with
my kids don't know the experience except for
letters.
Getting something from the dentist or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, hey, we'll buy your house, or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of writing. As a matter of fact, Maddie Marshall and I talk about this a lot. I think that's why I started the blog. I wanted to get my thoughts down on paper. It was thanks to my wife, actually. She's the one who convinced me to do it. She's like, you've got to get these ideas out of your head. You're constantly saying this stuff, and you're constantly repeating yourself. And why don't you just get it down? So I started a journal, which I still have to this day. Nice. And I still write letters. I still make my children write letters. I have a pen pal. You're gonna laugh. I do.
Nice.
There's an older gentleman,
awesome,
a retired gentleman in my old neighborhood that we got very close with. He's probably 89 now, and I like to write him letters. He just lives a couple of cities away, but I could ride over there. It'd take me half an hour to drive there, but we write each other letters, usually about philosophy and life and the children, and I love doing that.
Wonderful.
In my journal, my blog started as a journal, and then I eventually made a blog online, and then everything else, everything changed. But I'm glad to hear you say that. Yes, I wish more people would write letters.
Yeah. It's not so much I want to go back, but I want people to understand, like, you can write to someone else, and it doesn't have to be an email. And like, the worst, I hate writing emails, but like writing like handwritten letters, so cool. So I don't know.
Well, and my children, all my children are homeschooled, and they can all write cursive.
Oh, really?
Yep, they can all write cursive, and they can all drive a stick shift. So.
Oh man, that's the cursive. My daughter can write cursive. It's not something I've pushed a whole bunch. And we after COVID, I think the way it was handled for us, because we did remote for like a year because of it, and I think homeschooling is probably not easier, but like having say over the curriculum has got to be way easier than like trying to grab someone else's curriculum and
I'm sure as an artist you would appreciate this, right? Because what we would do, the beauty of homeschooling is you're still in a routine, right? But I firmly believe that kids, especially boys, I have 3 boys and a daughter, so I have 4 children.
Hey, that's exactly what I have.
I know, right. I know, brother. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what are their ages, real quick?
I've got an 18-year-old, a 13-year-old, just turned 13, and that's the daughter, is 13, 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
So your daughter's your second born?
Yeah.
So I have a 20-year-old.
The 18-year-old is my stepson, technically, but
counts. Counts.
Yeah.
Blood doesn't require to be a parent. A heart is required to be a parent, right? So, loving somebody. So here's what I believe. All right, you're gonna laugh at this. So I have a 21-year-old son. a 19-year-old daughter, an 18-year-old son, and a 10-year-old son. So even our second-borns are girls.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that, it's funny, but...
Hang on. Yeah, that is crazy. Like, okay.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Hang on. You said your first one is 21 and then an 18-year-old?
Yep.
Okay.
21.
Not exactly,
21,
but pretty
19,
close. Yeah.
18. And then, matter of fact, my 19's about to be 20 in November. My 18 just became 18 this past month, like last week.
Wow.
He was 17. By the way, he's my state
They're
champion.
all...
Yeah, they're pretty close. The first three were really close. And then we had about 8 years, and then, ta-da. But what I was going to say was, you'll appreciate this as a teacher and as an artist, because we still have that curriculum, but I believe boys need to get out and play. Need to get out and run. They got to have it. You can't sit them in a chair for 8 hours a day. So what we do is we were very routined, and okay, at 9 o'clock we're going to do this class, right? And then we're going to do chores, and then you're going to run out and play and do it. Okay, hey, you know what? At 1 o'clock we're going to do this class, and then you're going to do this chore, and then you're going to run out and play. And so we were very structured, but their retention was greater because it wasn't, academic, recess, academic, 15 minutes to play.
Yeah.
So, and the beauty of it is once you start realizing a direction that your child is moving towards, say they're very interested in art. By the way, my wife is an artist. She's a photographer and potter. She does pottery.
Okay.
And as well as photography.
Nice.
And, but you start seeing one of your children really gain an interest in a specific direction. Well, you emphasize that. You lead them towards it, right? And for instance, my youngest, tremendous musician.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, yeah, let's.
Are those his guitars or yours?
Sir? Oh, that's his.
Are those his guitars?
No, that's his.
Okay.
But these are mine. No, I'm a musician. I used to have hair down.
Hey.
I was in a rock band. I was in a metal band. I was in a grunge band. I was in a blues band. I love music. I am a metalhead at heart, but I love all music.
Dude.
So I was a lead guitarist, a bass player. I play drums too. So I am a...
Nice.
I dabbled in musicianship. I had delusions of grandeur at one time that I was going to be a professional musician.
Hey.
Actually was on the phone with Sony at one time, and then they laughed at me. So.
Oh.
True story.
Well, dang, man. You're like, sorry, you really piqued my interest with this metal stuff. So, are we talking like 80s metal, or what kind of? Give me some correlations of bands.
Okay, that's easy. All right, you ready? Here we go. All right, so when I started off, like the first album, right, vinyl album I bought was Dokken Tooth and Nail, which is kind of a hair band, right?
Yep.
But that would have been...
I know Tooth and Nail. I think I know Dokken.
Yeah. But the day that turned my life was I stepped outside. I had a neighbor, and he was friends with my older brother Chris, and his name was John, and he lived across and he would always have his window open, and he'd have, back in the 80s and late 70s, we had these massive stereo systems, right?
Giant speakers.
It looked like something from Back from the Future. But and he would... I'll never forget when I heard Blizzard of Oz, or maybe it was Diary of a Madman from Ozzy Osbourne. He was just cranking it out his window. I was like, what is that? And I went over and knocked on his door, and he never heard me because it wasn't till the song stopped that he finally heard me knocking on the door. Came down and I asked about it, and then he introduced me to Ride the Lightning by Metallica and Priest and Maiden. Iron Maiden's probably one of my favorite bands. I'm a huge Sabbath fan. Deep Purple.
Okay.
But now, I'm modernized, right? I got into different things. Like now, if you were to go into look at my collection, you'd find bands like Arch Enemy, Shadows Fall, stuff like that, and Dream Theater. I love Dream Theater. And then, of course, I love the classics. Right? I love the classics like Rush and Triumph and all that stuff. So,
for sure.
But I love blues
Dream Theater.
too. I love blues bands. I
Speaking
love
my language, man.
some hip hop. I love some jazz. My son's gotten me into a lot of jazz lately. So,
Nice.
you know, I'm quite eclectic on the music, but I'm a metalhead at heart.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. So my dad is a guitar player. Not was, is. And he my first like very big blues guy. And my first like show that I went to was at a what was it called? It was called Blue Cat Blues. It was a blues bar in Dallas, in a not so great area at the time. It was Deep Ellum. It was not. You shouldn't be taking your kid there.
Right.
I was in 4th grade. We go to this bar with his buddy, and it was this guy. He's an 80s guitar player. I don't know if you ever heard of Andy Timmons.
Of course I know Andy Timmons. Danger.
Oh, yeah. So that was my like first like club show. I don't know what you'd call it, like bar show, but he was there, and it was, man, I just like, that was such a cool night getting to see like this dude. It was when he was playing with Ear Ecstasy.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So okay. But no, Andy Timmons, his solo stuff is outstanding. He's like this incredible instrumentalist.
It's amazing.
Yeah. He's a shredder, right? So you get into Andy Timmons, you got to start talking about guys like, you know, Kristen Pelletieri, Yngwie Malmsteen, Paul Gilbert. You know, we can start talking about the shredders and all that stuff. But
yeah, it's oh gosh. So that was the turning point for me. Is like, I should pay attention to guitar players. Yeah. And then like, I think like by 6th grade, I was listening to Hendrix every night. And
yes, Hendrix, crazy. Man, I love it,
dude. He was great, and like Stevie was always on rotation for sure, man.
I had a religious experience,
and then once I got into blues, I believe it in Memphis. Yeah, dude. I started to get into a guy, Lightning Hopkins. You ever listen to him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that dude. I was like, oh, you can be a cool harmonica player. I like this guy. And like Anyway, sorry.
No, don't apologize. I love
all the
this
tangents.
Type of
topic.
Yeah. I don't get to talk about the cool stuff like this with Dynasty. They all think my music sucks. So.
No,
I'm kidding.
I
made that up.
I feel like I'm trying to think. Like, I bet. I don't know if Yarber would get in. He seems like he might get into some blues.
Oh, I guarantee you they'd all probably get into blues, 100%. It's got to be the right blues, right? So, not all blues are created equal. So.
That's true. All right, man. I'm sorry. Don't
apologize. This is great.
I have one more coaching question, if that's all right.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Absolutely.
And I think can you talk to me about, and maybe this isn't a thing, but in my mind, I think of it as a thing. Can you talk about triage in the pits?
Ooh.
Like as a coach,
okay,
point just finishes, and it's like, whoa, what just happened? We got to get
things
this
have gone south.
Figured out. Yeah, or like whatever. Like just like do you have an order of importance or operations in those scenarios of like, all right, we got to cool this guy down emotionally, we got to cool this guy down literally, we got to clean this guy up, or is that all fall on like just the organized pit crew? Or
would you believe your question is actually really nuanced, and there are several levels to answering the question. And so let's reverse engineer this. It's all ultimately going to come down to the culture of the team, right? And let me explain that. So first of all, the best teams, you'll notice if the camera's ever in the pit and they've had a bad point, the best teams don't usually get rattled, right? What you're going to see is they're going to come in and they're going to have that quick conversation about what went wrong, why it went wrong, moving on, right? The best teams have that conversation quickly and succinctly, okay? But So with the Canes, it was very different with the Canes, or with Prime, or with CEP, whatever team I coached. They all had different ways, and it goes back to how do we talk to our players, right? How do we want to communicate with them? What are the needs of the team? So, in Dynasty's perspective, I'm coaching guys who have been winning at the professional level for 25 years. They don't need me to tell them what went wrong. They already know, right? My job is to be as efficient with next, right? We've got to move on. We've got to crush that, understand why that happened, address it quickly, right? Don't let it get out of hand, right? So if things do, in the rare instance it would, gets heated between a player or two, my role, step in, shut it down. Doesn't matter. We need to fix it. Here's how we're doing it. We're moving on to the next point. Boom, right? So my role really is to have them more focused on the next point. All right? Let's take what we learned from that last one, next point. And here's what we're going to do. We're now going to impose our will. Nothing we can do about that. That's done. We're going to impose our will now here. And the key to imposing your will out on the paintball field is being able to impose your will inside the pit. Having a great pit crew that is on autopilot and is a ballet, and they all, I will go on record right now and say that Dynasty probably has one of, if not the best pit crews in the world. And it's quite remarkable.
I believe
the
it.
people who are in charge of that, Steve and Chris, God bless you guys if you're watching this, and all the guys that are involved in that pit, they know when to get paint, how to store the paint, who likes what in their packs, who likes to be wiped off, who doesn't like to be wiped off. You know, and it's this incredible ballet that takes place that relieves me and the players of concerns about that. I don't have to worry about, okay, I know they're getting paint, I know the paint's well taken care of, I know these different things. I don't have to worry about any of that. So having a good pit crew is solid. Understanding, talking about what the pit needs to be like before the event is really key, right? Understanding, you brought up a great point. There's certain players that you are going to have, and over the years, I've dealt with different types of players that come in from a point that maybe have gone south, and they're heated, right? They're fired. If I know how to do my role, if I do my role well, I've walked them off the ledge, and now they're focused on me and the next point and what we need to do to win the next point. So again, and I don't know if that's answering your question, but it is very nuanced. It really depends on your team culture. It depends on what your team needs after each point. Like, what role is the coach playing? Because this is something I've written about at length. There are several different types of coaches, right? There are coaches who actually coach, do X's and O's, you know, call line, make adjustments. We need to do this better. Why did we not, you know, capitalize on this? Hey, next time you see this, if A, then B, blah, blah, blah. Those are coaches, right? Then there's those that are like, hey, you guys need to attack the D side better. This is the line, right? So that's maybe that's more of a program director, or maybe that's more of a manager, or, you know, a pit captain or something. And I'm not taking anything away from those people, right? I'm just saying that different teams are going to need different types of leadership. So to answer your question, it depends. So was that a cop out? That was a cop out, wasn't it?
No, I love it. Like you defended it, so don't worry. I like that. We need more yes ands answers, and not just black
I
and white
agree.
answers.
I think it is a lot more than look. You can't just hand a clipboard to somebody and say, "Okay, coach us." It doesn't work that way. You got to have a basic understanding of the game. You have to have good clock management. You got to have some thick skin, because some players are going to come in and say some pretty mean things to you too. Because there are going to be instances where they will blame you, right? And sometimes it's probably deserved. And if you're a good coach, you're going to own it, and you're going to learn from it. You're going to make yourself better. If you're one of those guys that wants to point fingers and not look in the mirror, well, then you're probably not going to last very long on a professional roster.
I would hope not. Anyway. All right, that's my last coach question, I promise.
Okay. Those were easy. Thank you. I appreciate the easy ones.
I got to ease into it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hop into some of these. I have these sort of Well, now it's 4 questions. Originally, it was like 2 questions, but
okay.
I've got these set questions that I kind of ask everyone.
Love it.
What is a piece of art that stopped you in your tracks? And, art is how you interpret it. So,
I love this question. I can give more than one answer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Please.
All right. I want to be very careful because this is the part that I'm really excited about. I get to talk about something that I'm not well versed in, so that my wife has been trying to educate me on for a long time.
Nice.
You know what? All right. First, I would say my wife on our wedding day. That's not a cop-out, I promise you.
Oh, no, that's all right, man. Hang on, I'll make a soundbite of that. So.
My wife on our wedding day was a piece of art that stopped me in my tracks. I remember not wanting to turn around. I'm at the altar, and I don't want to turn around, but I'm really glad I did.
Of course,
because of course she has to walk all that way, right? It was a big church. And so it gave me time to prepare for when she was next to me. I just kept thinking to myself, how did I get so lucky? Now that's the romantic in me,
of course,
the Italian side. Interestingly enough,
of course,
my wife, as I told you, she's an artist, and hopefully I don't embarrass her too much, but especially since we're getting into the art questions, and I'm really a dogs playing poker kind of guy. One of my favorite paintings. Much to
I
my
should
wife's
know
chagrin.
the artist of that. I don't. Yeah, no, you're good.
I have a tie with that on there, even. No, but
So you're actually one of those guys.
It's great. It's great. Okay.
Nice.
So this. Let's see. I have a couple of different answers to this. So this may seem offbeat, but there are several pieces of work that actually I remember quite well that caught my attention, or rather my imagination, rather vividly. As a proud member of, and we're going to get into the metal a little bit here, or you'll see what I'm talking about. But as a proud member of Generation X, I have to say it was an album cover by Frank Frazzetti, actually, that made me go,
oh, you know the name. All right.
Wow. So, all right. So, Frank Frazzetti, heck yeah, I know the name. And of course, Frank did so many covers of so many books I read, right? Anyway, this particular cover was, it was Death Dealer was the name of it. Death Dealer was the name of the painting, and it was on the cover of a Molly Hatchet album. So Molly Hatchet was a famous Southern rock band, and every one of their album covers had Frazzetti on them. But anyway, I'm a huge metalhead, as you know.
Nice.
And I used to read a lot of fantasy novels, and Frazzetti, I played D&D. Come on, I'm a kid of the 80s, right? So in 82,
man.
84,
I'm so jealous.
playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was younger. By the way, a rather underappreciated genre of art, I might add. There were so many good art that came out of the Dungeons and Dragons time. It's incredible. But yeah, like album covers that made me go, whoa, right? Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Molly Hatchet. Those album covers would definitely be on my list of things that made me stop and go, what was that? What is that?
What's that?
Make me
I
study
love it.
So,
you're the first album cover, first wife, and first human and album cover.
So, I love it.
Nice.
Well, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
I love my wife. Listen, I outkicked my coverage on that one, but anyway, as Alex Frazier likes to say, I know who the real coach is. He says my wife Jennifer is, but I'm probably going to do another one that's kind of a little off the chain here for you. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because when you asked me this question, it just took me back to my youth, right? So there were certain movie posters that made me go, whoa, right? And because they tell a story, right? Star Wars, Blade Runner, Escape from New York, Highlander, right? The title mixed with the imagery would get my imagination running, right? Man, I miss those days of going to the VHS rental store and renting a movie just based off the cover art. And you'd get home and you realize that they spent the majority of the budget on the cover. the movie was horrid, but the cover art was awesome, right? The cover always made the movie seem so much better than it really was. But I do. I love that stuff. Like some of the artists who would convey what that movie was about in a single painting, right? And make your imagination go crazy. Movie posters, albums, my wife. If you hear meowing, it's my cat wanting in my office.
You're good.
But
you're good.
On a serious note, there was one painting that always.
Those are totally serious. First off,
no, they were. They really are. But I'm trying to be serious because
on a capital A art,
yeah, they do. And art to me, right, should draw an emotion out of you, and those things did. So, but I would say one painting that always seemed to transport me back to my youth. And I'm not sure matter of fact, it's probably pretty common. It's a print, and from what I understand, the history of it, it was a photograph that was then painted. But it's an old man praying over bread. I believe it's called Grace. You know the one I'm talking about? It's actually
no.
I'm trying to remember who did it.
Let me see if I can find it.
Anyway, it was a common print in the late 70s, maybe late 60s, late 70s. I can't remember, but I've seen it in many homes, at least the ones that I frequented when I was younger. And obviously it was in my home. That painting hung in our dining room, and I used to always think it was really something special because it reminded me of my paternal great-grandfather, who was a mythical being to me, right? Came over on a cattle boat from Palermo, Sicily, and all that. So,
did you meet your great-grandfather?
I did. I met my great-grandfather. I never met my grandfather. That's what's crazy.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah, I'd love to tell you about that sometime. The man was amazing. He was fascinating. And of course, I was very young. And by the time I was a teenager, he had passed. So I didn't get a lot of the good stories, but I did get the great stories from my father and from my grandmother. And so there was a lot of that. But he always, that painting always reminded me of him. But I guess I would also. See it. That's it. That's the painting.
Yep.
That's it. It's called. I think it's called Grace. Enstrom.
Yep.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yep.
That's with an E. Enstrom.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. Edric Enstrom. Enstrom. It's got a real. I don't know how artsy you are. It's got a N.C. Wyeth. As an American artist. Anyway, it looks similar to his style.
My wife is always trying to educate me, right? Like, for instance, another thing I love and I've always appreciated was like Victorian era street scenes.
Okay,
I know that sounds crazy. I've always been fascinated by London, England, probably because of my absolute love for A Christmas Carol, and I'm talking about the Albert Finney version. If you haven't seen the Albert Finney version of A Christmas Carol, that's a movie.
I mean, if you're not talking Muppets, what are we doing?
Listen, I love the Muppet one too. Don't get me wrong. Listen, I was raised on the Muppet Show. That used to be an afternoon show in the early '80s, '80 through '84, I think.
For sure.
I used to love the Muppet Show. It was a half-hour show. But yeah, Albert Finney, check it out.
Yeah, that's great.
That's required watching for me and anyone near me during the Christmas season. You mentioned Van Gogh earlier. Starry Night has always captivated me.
That?
I love scenes of bygone eras. For the longest time, I felt I was born in the wrong era. I should have been a cowboy.
Interesting.
Era.
Have you watched Midnight in Paris?
No, but I'm going to write that down.
It's a Woody Allen film.
Yes. I knew. I recognized the title.
It's interesting. It's all about the golden age and your interpretation of it. So you might enjoy it. I don't know. It's an indie film vibe for sure. So.
I love indie films.
Anyway, sorry.
My degree's in communication, and I originally got into. I had to take a bunch of classes on film and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I always felt like I should have been a cowboy. But or you know what? Rather an actor in westerns during the 50s and 60s. That's the cowboy I should have been. I should have been in Hollywood. I love those movies.
Sure.
I love those movies. But anyway, yeah, that's.
You know what hurts?
I hope I answered your question.
Just I'm holding my. Yeah, you did for sure, but glowingly. But you're talking about Cowboys. I used to, for the longest time, I would, because I mumble, I would introduce myself. Hey, I'm Clint Riddle, and people would be like, Glenn, and I'd be like, no, Clint, like Eastwood.
I love it.
I can't do that anymore. People don't like, unless they're seemingly older than me, they don't know who Clint Eastwood is, and it's like that was the.
First of all, one of my heroes.
I'm not gonna stop mumbling, so I need another way to figure out how to introduce myself. But anyway,
I would have been like, oh yeah, Eastwood. First of all, one of my favorite actors and directors, incredible director.
He's pretty great. Yeah,
he's great. So
my boy Clint.
Yeah.
Us Clints, we tend to do good things.
That's right. Clint Johnson.
I don't know about
AC
Clint
Diesel.
Black.
He's a Texas guy.
Oh yeah, that dude. Oh, I know. I managed a field when he was a little Ute. So like
two Utes.
It was like Meter, TJ, Clint Johnson, Mark Johnson. Not when he was a youth, but like when he was on Justice League, like that whole group. I didn't manage them. I operated a field that they came to a lot.
That had to have been a party.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking young for TJ and Meter. Not so much interaction with Clint. He's always a good dude. But like Meter and TJ, there was a few other kids in their little crew, and I'm talking maybe like middle school era. I don't know that they were in high school, and they were. I remember thinking they were Hellions, but it was more. There was one kid that was with them that was a Hellion, and they were all right.
I love it. So, I think that's great.
Anyway, all right. So we got your wife, Frank Frazzetti. I'm excited to go check out his stuff. And Eric Enstrom. Great stuff. Yeah. All right. Who is an artist that we should know? Van Gogh. All right. Okay. He's and Starry Night is what you love about him. I could talk all day about Van Gogh.
I bet.
He
was an interesting cat.
Yeah. If you watch what's his name? Willem Dafoe's what is it called? His movie where he plays Van Gogh. Yeah. From what I can tell, from what I've read, he's great, yeah. But from what I can tell, that's a pretty accurate representation as far as movies go.
I love it. All
right. Okay. What is the most memorable piece of advice that someone has given you? Maybe not the best, but one that you're like, that stood out.
This is such a hard question to answer because, like I was saying earlier, I've received so much good advice over my 50-plus years from so many different people. I probably wouldn't be alive right now if I hadn't taken some of it. Some good people, right?
I like that.
And some from some not so good people that turned out to be great advice, right? All relevant at the moment.
It's wisdom,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, like my parents taught me several things that all turned out to be great advice. Honestly, the older I got, the smarter they became. They taught me to be a critical thinker and to question things. I think that's what I love about them, and not lazily, by the way. What I mean by that is they didn't want me to. They wanted me to be well read and educated so that I could be a critical thinker, so that. I have to give credit where credit's due to my parents for instilling in me a love of reading, right? So
that's amazing.
And I think that's important, right? Even when I was questioning them, right? They still wanted me. They promoted me to question. It's important to question so that you know the answers, right?
Yeah.
Sticks and stones.
It's hard as a parent to like bite your tongue.
It is.
Or-
It is. And you know what I'm talking about. You got an 18-year-old and a teenager. But it's sometimes you shouldn't, right? Right. They don't come with instruction manuals, right? So sometimes
They really don't.
Sometimes
they're all
you
different.
mess up. You got to be able to own it and go back and say, "Hey, I was wrong when I said this to you," or what have you. But
yeah, I've made that my life's goal. My
Yeah.
dad was really good about this too. Of like, they need to hear apologies from adults
yes,
because it's not happening publicly from adults in the public eye. So I want them to see it from someone and to be. Anyway, I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off.
The advice I give to my young friends who are getting married or just starting to have children, and they're like, "Hey, coach," or "Hey, Mike, what's some advice you can give me about raising children?" And I said, "That's easy. Love their mother. Let them see you love their mother.
Yeah.
Because if you're a great example, right, then they'll see, they'll understand." And I think that's important. That something's often overlooked.
Yeah.
Right? I'm one of those guys that believes there are two words that are thrown around way too much in the English language today, way too easily, and that's love and friendship. And those should have those words should be reserved for the very best. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
You were
Who
talking
was
about
that
advice.
listening to? No, you're good. You're good.
Sticks and Stones, right, was a good one when I was little. That's one more people should probably revisit. Right? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Right? What happens when you get offended? Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not physically harmed, right? You probably know that I fancy myself a stoic. Well, I try to follow the stoic philosophy.
Yes.
I don't always succeed, but I try, right? So the sticks and stones one didn't always take. I blame my genetics on that one. I am Italian. I've always liked the advice, don't be too quick to judge. That one doesn't always take.
Wonderful
either.
advice.
Right?
Yeah.
But I've certainly gotten better with that one, and the sticks and stones for that matter. But ultimately, I would say, let's see. You know what? I think it's some other advice I got was it's okay to say I don't know. You can't be everything to everyone. You can't have all the answers, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel that is something we could all learn from, but caveat, but it isn't okay to remain ignorant, right? I feel it's our duty to learn about it. If it's something that's important to us, that is important to the family or to you growing, then I feel it's our duty to learn about it, right? To at least set our feet on the path to knowledge or a basic understanding. Well, anyway, maybe
For sure.
I'm somewhat babbling, but
no, that's great. I love it. You like that brought back a memory. I remember in second grade, what was her? I don't remember her name, but I remember my teacher. I asked her a question, and she was like, "I don't know." I was like, "What? You're a teacher. You know everything there is to know."
Especially in second grade, right? It's an adult teacher,
for
and
sure.
you didn't know. It's incredible. I bet you.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the best advice I ever received was, don't walk into a room you don't know how to walk out of. It's really a metaphor, right, for so many scenarios.
Yeah.
Maybe the room is a relationship or a job or a situation. Have a plan, right? A contingency for if things go south. Be prepared to cut bait, as I like to say down here in the South.
Yeah.
But not prematurely, right? Put in the effort. You have to. I think that has to that's actually truly helped me most over the years as I've grown older is knowing when to knowing how to. I don't put myself in a situation I wouldn't know how to address if things went south, if that makes sense. I try to avoid bad situations.
I'm intrigued. Yeah. So those situations don't happen to you?
Not much anymore. There's a lot of lessons. I would love to do this, like privately over a beer or something, and kind of explain to you how that came to fruition.
Okay.
A lot of history there. But yeah, now it's to the point where I'm comfortable with recognizing certain situations, and I have no issue. There's a famous saying, have a plan, be polite, but have a plan to kill everybody in the room.
Goodness.
I know that's so graphic. I used to make my guys,
it's
what
intense.
makes the grass grow? Blood, blood, blood. All right. Anyway.
Oh man.
Yeah. Very toxic
This is
masculinity.
rocking
right
my
here,
world.
Clint.
Yeah, I'm like thinking back to the video that Fava did of the Hurricanes while you were coaching them, and it was not that.
Yeah.
So this is intriguing.
First of all, I love Fava. I love that video.
It's
so good.
Yeah.
It elicits a lot of emotion out of me. When I first watched that, it really did, man. I'm not afraid to admit it. I got emotional during that. It was really cool. So Fava does a great job. There's a great artist, right? George. And,
yeah, he's amazing.
So many good artists
I've had him
in our sport. There really are. I mean,
really
I can't
are.
even.
Yeah.
I'd run out of fingers. I'd run out of names. I don't want to start naming people because I would forget someone and I'd feel terrible because they're all incredible. They all have such great histories and they've all done such great work. But no, I meet the need. I'm adaptable. Mm-hmm. So if that helps explain things, but I can be graphic sometimes.
I got
a R-rated
mic. Video made me think of
PG-13 mic. There's.
Oh goodness, R-rated mic. That means language, Mike. Are you sure?
See, that's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. Right? When you don't use it often, it's more impactful.
Yeah.
When you do, and so if coach ever says, "Damn it," then people go, "Whoa, okay, maybe he's."
What's going on?
Real. Yeah. So we need to pay attention. Yeah. We need to lock it up. So,
you save it for the.
I'm not saying that I'm innocent. I'm certainly not innocent. But and you know what other great advice? The person who told me to read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations as well as Miyamoto Musashi's Book of Five Rings. Whoever convinced me to do that, that sent me on my journey to where I am today. So.
I have a feeling it's some other Stoic that you were reading. It's like, I don't know.
Kind of
like
was.
What was it?
It's not a bad.
Maybe
it's not
it's
a
Tom
bad
Cruise
guess.
from The Last Samurai. But I've not read those guys. I need to. I think
especially Musashi.
I'm trying. Who?
You'll love Musashi, but honestly,
Musashi.
Yeah, Miyamoto Musashi. He was a famous samurai. Fought over 60 duels. Never lost.
We're talking swords, right?
Yeah. Yes,
if
we
it's
are.
A duel with a samurai?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right.
Great book. It's called The Book of the Five Rings. Check it out. And honestly, Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. That one's deep, right? It's pretty deep. But if you want to talk about having a positive outlook, creating a positive outlook within yourself, right? Because the Stoics basically had two tenets. Well, I mean, there was a lot of different things that went into it, right? The 9 principles, all this. Anyway, but like the two tenets is basically, hey, there's two compartments: things you can control and things you can't control. Obviously, we can control our thoughts. We can control how we respond to things. So if Clint says, Bianca, I think you're a whiny little crabby guy, I might be okay. How did that harm me? Because in my mind, I'm not a whiny little crabby guy. So, okay. It has not harmed me physically in any way. Now, if I let it bother me, Clint went on a show and told all his viewers that Bianca's a whiny little guy. And I go, man, I don't think it's good. I've given you ruler. You rule me now. No, you don't. Over some words. So that's kind of a concept, right? We control how we respond to good things that happen to us, how we respond to bad things that happen to us, right? We can respond and think, oh, woe is me, or we can do something about it. We can take action, right? What's the difference between the hero and the coward? Nothing. The hero acted. That's the difference. They're both scared.
Yeah.
Right? And I realize I'm going off on tangents, I just feel really comfortable talking. We're having a conversation here, and I enjoy this.
Come on, bring it.
But yeah, I think if you get a chance to read Marcus Aurelius Meditations, give it a shot. It was a game changer for me. It sent me on the path down Stoicism, and it melds really well with my Christian faith, and just getting along with everybody and not judging. Are you
able to tell, like, what is a Stoic? Is there a definition for it, or?
Yeah, I some people would say it's a person without emotion. That's not what it is. What it is, it's a person who's in control of their emotion.
Gotcha.
A Stoic would be a master of self. Right?
Okay.
So that's how I would look at it. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it. I've had this conversation so many times, and I change the definition every time I give it, right? But I think that's a good way of doing it. A master of self.
I love that.
Controlling one's emotion, controlling your response, getting up and pursuing virtue. That's a Stoic. I want to pursue virtue. I want to pursue wisdom. I want to pursue justice. I want to pursue, right? I want to better myself. And by bettering myself, I can better those around me. So, because the only way you fix somebody is you got to start here first. You got to start here, and then you can push out. So, I'm babbling. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You got me thinking. Yeah. All right, I'll check them out. Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius, baby.
Of 5 Rings. All right. I just started a book about an artist named Ai Weiwei who it's very interesting so far. His dad was a poet under, I already forgot the names. He was a poet, and then Mao Zedong came into power, and so his dad got put into a internment camp, and so did he. And he's I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, sounds great.
I'm trying to I just started it today, and I'm like really into it. It's
dude, I love
mostly because his art is really symbolic and challenging. Like, he's kind of a punk rock artist. He's a guy who took a Ming Dynasty urn, like a 2,000-year-old urn, and took a photo of him dropping it. And
punk rock.
It's like, I mean, anyone in any sort of power, he takes issue with.
Wow.
Anyone that has power, he's like, and it's so I'm kind of excited to see where that goes. But I'm like, now I'm trying to see how he might fit. I don't think he'd fit. He might fit to a Stoic. I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
Because he seems relatively in control.
Okay.
Like, these things he does are thought out.
When we get off the show, shoot me his name. Shoot me. What was his name again?
Yeah. It's Ai Weiwei. So it looks like Ai Weiwei.
I got you.
To an American.
Got it. Yeah. I wanna check him out. There's a piece that he did that I've been teaching students for years, and I never fully understood it. And today, reading it, I was like, first chapter, I was like, oh, this is what this is about. Don't you love when that light bulb goes off? I know I do. I'm like, thank goodness.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't 5 years down the line or whatever. But
I love it.
All right, man. We got to do this again. I feel like we could talk forever. We'll be pen pals. That's what it is. I'll send you. I like that. But I don't want to take too much of your time. So I'd like to ask you this one last question.
Okay.
Mike Bianca, what is the joy of paintball?
Ah, yes. This is the one I've been waiting for. Okay.
Yes.
The joy of paintball to me is several things. Like I was warning you and your listeners. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. The joy of paintball to me is camaraderie. It's teamwork. It's goal setting. It's achieving those goals. It's character development. It's mental fortitude. It's discipline. It's getting outside in the sunshine. The joy of paintball. it can be whatever you need it to be. It's interesting because I realized the other day that I've come full circle with paintball personally, right? When you sent me that question, I like I told you at the beginning, I thought about this a lot throughout the day. When I first started playing, it was for fun with friends, right? Something niche and out of the ordinary that was exciting and fun. And then it became competitive for me and a challenge to myself. Then it became a passion. And with that came a real drive to succeed in the sport, which then led to it becoming a study and academic. Then it became something I never imagined it would become, which was work, right? But now when I play personally, and I still play, we talked about that, I still love to get out there with my friends. I've come full circle again, right? It's become fun again because there is no pressure to perform. There's nothing writing on it like, say, I don't know, coaching Dynasty. But yeah, it's to me, the joy of paintball is all those things. It's everything you need it and want it to be. So yeah, that's the joy of paintball to me.
I love it. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you, man. Give me a chance to say stupid stuff like that. I didn't mean to say stupid. What I mean by
anytime
that is to express myself. I don't do that very often. So, and it's
what are you
good to
talking
make.
about?
I love
You've been
it.
writing a blog for
make me think.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Yeah.
That's exciting for me too. I think what a great thing to give someone is an exercise for their brain, a fun exercise for their brain.
100%, 100%, yes.
That's the most teacher thing I've ever said on here.
I love it. Hey, man, keep it up. You're killing it.
Thank you. Every now and then. Well, all right, man. I'll leave you to it.
Well, God bless you.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time.
We'll see you in Texas, and I'm probably going to be picking up one of those really cool over your left shoulder. I think that's your left shoulder.
Yeah, man.
I love.
No,
that.
I got you. I'm gonna sneak that into another zine, so it'll be folded up, and I got you. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God bless you. You gotta let me pay you for it.
Yeah.
You gotta let me pay you for it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk. Not online.
Maybe you can pay me. You can pay me through a conversation and a beer sometime at Texas.
Deal. 100% deal.
All right.
Beer's on me.
All right.
Awesome. Well, Clint, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and share with you and your listeners. And thank you for thinking of me. That was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there, dude, totally. Like, not a conundrum. You're I don't have the words. An iconoclast. There we go. Like, just kind of like a coach that's not that. You're not like Hinman or Blute or these other guys that are real like blunt. Not that they're bad, but it's like, hey, you are stoic by your definition, just in control of your feelings. And I don't know. I'm probably gonna catch some flack for that.
No, I don't think you will. No, look, Hinman knows who Hinman is. Hinman and I are friends. And Hinman has a process.
Yeah.
And I often tell some of the guys who've been on, I was like, that's Hinman's love language. If he's prodding you and pushing you and letting you have it, it's because he sees the potential in you and wants you not to waste it. Joey's blunt because, hey, man, let's be efficient. Let's cut to the chase. Let's get to it. First of all, very kind of you to say those things.
I gotta say this. I got one more compliment at the end of this, but you go.
I don't take compliments well. Thank you. But I need to be, and my approach is I need to be what the player needs me to be. Right. So I'm going to try and be that. If you need me to be angry, if you only learn from getting yelled at, I'll figure that out. I'll yell at you. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Right. But I'll do that if that's what's necessary. I also believe that, right, I'm dealing with adults. And whereas I'm older than most of those people, including the two gentlemen you mentioned as coaches. I'm
No
going to
way.
treat you like an adult. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that goes a long way. That's something I've done. I work with micro adults.
Micro adults, I love it.
Like they're humans. You have to be like, hey, the way I just talked to that human, I would not personally like that. So fix that, man.
Right.
It doesn't change a whole bunch with kids. There's other things you got to deal with.
Well, yeah, but
Anyway,
you've got to start from somewhere, right? You have a base level.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting at, is that, hey, we need to have this basic mutual understanding. And then we'll grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
Yeah. Anyway, the coach that I've studied, one of the few coaches aside from ones that I've actually had, but the coach that I've studied, that he's my favorite coach, and there are qualities in him that I see in you. He's an NFL. He was an NFL coach. It was Tony Dungy. I don't know
Tony
if
Dungy, wow.
are you familiar with him?
yeah.
That dude. There's rumors of him walking out on the field and him going like, "All right, everybody, this is the loudest my voice is gonna get," and like he held to it, like super like stoic, very like in control, and just had high expectations, but like wasn't gonna, he was a professional. He's gonna treat you like an adult. And
This is the
are you
loudest.
familiar with Tony Dungy?
I am definitely going to. I'm stealing that one. This is the loudest my voice is going to get. How awesome is that?
You gotta
I love
gotta read it. I'll find the book. He was the coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Was it the
And
Colts? I was
like
thinking it was something. I was thinking it was someone else.
he worked for a few teams. He worked for the Steelers, not as a head coach, I don't think, but
See, I think that's where I remember.
he
it.
okay. He like coordinator of some sort. I don't know.
Colts,
He
got it.
played also. Yeah. But during like Peyton Manning's reign, and anyway, he just a great football coach. Pretty big Christian, but in the same way that you are, not evangelical.
You're right,
all
not
the time.
overly
I don't know how
pressing.
to explain it.
Right.
Yeah, he was like,
I know exactly what
if
you're
you want to
trying
have a
say.
conversation, I will, but
I'm not
I
gonna
will just
Bible
lead
thump
by
you.
example.
I'm not going to beat you over the head.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
I will be an example. I'll try and show an example through my actions, right? But yeah, I'm not going to force my morality or faith on anybody. But I think that's also something that's been an incredible journey for me, especially in the coaching world, right? I have several friends who are agnostic, who are atheist, who are Jewish, Muslim. It doesn't matter. You're a human being to me, and right, you've got a soul, and that's who I'm talking to. So
Yeah. I do think paintball is like one of those, if you're a Christian, paintball is one of those things that gets you out of the echo chamber.
yes,
If that makes
that's a great
sense.
point. Matter of fact, paintball, that it brings you into a world where there's a lot of stuff. You're gonna see a lot of stuff. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff, right? But a real Christian can handle it.
Yeah.
So-
And it like,
That
it really
sounded
challenges you.
judgmental. I didn't mean that to you Christians out there who can't handle it. I'm
real
sorry.
Christian.
Didn't mean to judge. But, no,
you're good.
we're called to. I'm not going to preach at anybody, but the best I can do is be an example. I have an incredible. I've been happily married for 22 years. And it was built on faith. It started there.
Dude.
So there's got to be something to it that helps, right? You got to have some kind of moral compass, I feel, in order to move through this world and be successful. Whether that comes from your faith, whether it comes from an upbringing, whether it comes from just reading a good book that said, hey, I should be a good guy. It doesn't matter as long as you're being a good guy. Be a good guy, right? It's easy to be the bad guy. be a good guy. You want you want a challenge. You want to be a good guy. It's easy to be the bad guy.
For sure.
So.
Well said, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll let you go now.
Nah. Thanks again, man.
God bless you, brother. You have a good evening, and I'll see you in Texas.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. That was Mike Bianca, coach of San Diego Dynasty, author of Zen and the Art of Paintball, creator of Z-Logs, pen pal extraordinaire, and all-around awesome dude. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, go ahead, if you're so inclined, like this episode or leave a comment. That'd be great. You could also, if you want to support this, if you want to support me, the best thing you can do is donate to cureduchenne.org. The link is in the bio. The proceeds for that go towards something that's near and dear to my heart. And if you want to go further than that, you can go to patreon.com/riddlesart. That link is also in my bio, and I've got all sorts of tiers that you can join. Thanks so much, guys. Love y'all.